Hey, folks, it's been a minute as of last night, but we have some news to report. Andy Campbell and Sean Fitzgerald here on the Rinkcast. We will call this Season 8, Episode 14. Episode 13 was as recent as last night, but we had some stuff that we wanted to share with you. Taylor Hall has been traded, folks. And so we wanted to jump on and chat about this real quickly, what it means and doesn't mean. Sean, thank you for jumping on so promptly at 10:15 Eastern. Taylor Hall's been traded to Carolina Hurricanes. What are the details of the trade? Can you list it off for us, and then let's get into what this means?
Yes, I can. So in the 3-team deal, Mikko Rantanen and Taylor Hall are going to Carolina. Martin Necas and Jack Drury to Colorado. Chicago is going to take on 50% of Rantanen's salary and get its own third-round pick back. Also, Colorado is getting picks in return too. They're getting a second rounder in 2025 and a fourth rounder in 2026. And Frank Cervelli was the first one to report the trade.
Okay, and the picks that Colorado is getting, those are Carolina's picks too?
Correct, yes.
Carolina is mortgaging future here. They're giving up picks.
Yep.
Essentially is what's going on here. And who the Blackhawks are giving up is Taylor Hall. But they're eating a chunk of salary, and the Twinner universe is freaking out. Mikko Rantanen's salary is over $9 million.
Yeah.
So the Blackhawks are eating half of that right now at a prorated rate, so not actually half of that. But I guess by AAV, a little over $4 million that will be prorated, so it'll be a little bit less than that.
Puckpedia has it at 4.65.
4.65. Okay,
or 6.25, I'm sorry.
Okay, so a little bit less than that just because of the prorated given games and such like that. At any rate, and all they get in return is a third-round pick. This is a third-round pick that they traded last year to Carolina.
Correct, yes.
And they swapped third-round picks, and then they drafted Jack Pridham, who's now playing juniors in Canada and is going to Boston University next year.
And he's benefited from the NCAA rule because he was playing in the BC. Well, he was playing in the British Columbia League,
DHL in British Columbia, and now he's playing in the OHL. So thoughts on this, Sean? Talk to me. A lot of people are saying, whoa. We just traded Taylor Hall, third-round pick, and we're eating a ton of cash.
Yeah, we're eating a ton of cash.
What does it mean?
Kyle Davidson is weaponizing his cap space. So, like Taylor Hall, we've said on this podcast multiple times that maybe his projected ceiling was a second-round pick.
Yeah.
Jimmy had aspirations of a first-round pick, but that obviously didn't materialize. So what he did was he got a third-round pick by using his cap space to be – because the only way this deal really works is if the Hawks are involved.
Right.
To get the cap space. Carolina gets more cap space. Colorado's freed up maybe to make another move. And the Hawks' third-round pick, like the Hawks' third-round pick is still going to be pretty high because they're not a good team. So they're going to get a higher third-round pick. I think it's only a few spaces. It's only going to be a few spaces below Carolina's second-round pick.
Yeah. So, Tampa Bay just tied the game. Shoot.
There was a penalty. TJ Brody had gone to the box with 2 minutes left.
So we're going to be getting some. Well, of course he did. He's been miserable. Okay, hold on. This just posted. Blackhawks also traded away prospect Niels Juntorp in the Rantanen-Necas Hall trade. He is in Hockey Atan, Sweden's third division currently, and wasn't trending towards even receiving an ELC. So forget it. Whatever. He's in there somewhere. This is not an NHL hockey player, probably ever.
They cleared a contract draft pick slot list.
Right. Well, so here's the thing. Here's what makes this interesting is, number one, I think that anyone, it sounds like any Blackhawks fan, some of us included, have overvalued Taylor Hall in the trade market right now. Totally overvalued Taylor Hall. At one point, Jimmy O'Malley, who's been the best addition to the Rink team in recent years, said we'd be hopeful if he could get, like, if he has a really big year, maybe he'll get a first-round pick. Now we're trading away Taylor Hall for a third-round pick. which is fine, but then we're also eating a ton of salary. Now, they would have probably had to take on half of Taylor Hall's salary, even with this trade, even trading him. So now they're taking on an additional couple $1 million here. So it just turns out that you're going to get a 3rd round pick for Taylor Hall, but in the meantime, it's just a little bit more expensive than originally anticipated. But this will all be off the books come June.
Yeah.
You're spending a few extra dollars to make sure that you get some sort of return on Taylor Hall.
Yes. And
so is it bad? I don't think this is that bad. A lot of people think this is bad. It doesn't seem bad.
No, it doesn't seem bad at all. I think it's a perfectly good deal. Like, they used their cap space and they weaponized it is what they did. Like, that's one thing they have an abundance of and other teams don't. So I think Davidson getting creative, and like their 3rd round pick, they now have, I believe, nine times. They have 9.
I tweeted 10. It's actually 9. They have no 5th round pick because that was dealt away in the Jake McCabe trade. But 9
picks in next
7, and 7 of those are in rounds 1 through 4.
Right. So theoretically, Davidson could be gearing up for potential another draft day move because he's got 2 first rounders, 2 second rounders, and a 3rd.
2 4s.
So he's got plenty of assets to move up. Carolina, on the other hand, just to look at their side of the coin, they now only have a 1st rounder, a 3rd rounder, a 4th, a 5th, and a 6th and a 7th. So they don't have a 2nd or 5th, and then next year they're missing 2 picks as well.
Yeah,
so
wow.
Yeah.
Well, so last night on the show, we talked about Nazar and Colton Dock and the possibility of they're here to stay. Now it seems like they're definitely here to stay because Taylor Hall is gone and there's not a player coming back.
No.
There's no asset coming back, NHL ready asset coming back. So.
And they talked about, Powers had mentioned yesterday in his article, we talked about it at length, they're freeing up roster spots. They're free. They still have Ryan Green, Oliver Moore, who had a golden night, and Minnesota's loss to Michigan State.
9-3.
Yeah, it was brutal. So they're freeing up roster spots for those guys. And Frankie Nazar seems to have broken his scoring dam here. He had
great game tonight. Yeah, he got a goal. He's got a goal and an assist tonight. Colton Dock with his first goal, NHL goal tonight.
Yep.
Ethan Del Mastro playing very well.
Yeah.
Having said all this, it's 3-3 going into overtime, and they just took a penalty. So they're going to be 4-on-3 against Nikita Kucherov and company to start the overtime here, which this will probably be over pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So the Hawks in line to get a loser point, blowing a 3-1 lead tonight. But the big news is the Taylor Hall trade. And what else does this mean? Like, if Taylor Hall is fetching a 3rd round pick, I mean, last night on the show, we're talking about Ryan Donato, and he might be being moved.
Yeah.
I mean, I know our buddy Andrew Bard was very ambitious with some of his thoughts, but I would love to be that optimistic too, but it seems like I don't know what they're going to get for Donato now if Hall's fetching a 3rd. Now Hall, I think Donato is the more attractive trade chip.
Theoretically,
he's playing in his youth, but man, I mean, who knows how much time Taylor Hall has left in the NHL right now.
Yeah. But Taylor Hall is a proven scoring threat. Freaking Hawks. Taylor Hall is a proven scoring threat. He can go on a heater. Ryan Donato, this is his 2nd best season ever. So, and Ryan Donato's been playing up and down the line, so you don't know. I think you trust the back of Taylor Hall's hockey card more than you trust the promise of Ryan Donato.
Yeah.
And so I know Bardo, like you were saying a minute ago, was saying a 1st round pick. I don't know. It's either it's a 4th or 5th, or it's a change of scenery guy for Donato, and be a 6th or something. It's not going to be anything considerable.
No. Is there room now to keep him around with Hall gone? That's the other thing. I mean, they just took care of Hall. I mean, maybe now they can keep him around. I don't know if they can keep him. I mean, we talked about how that would have been our choice. to try to extend him for a couple of years to let, he's playing his best hockey of his career. He's 28 years old. He could help with the rebuild, but I don't know. We'll see. But then Scott Powers was pretty adamant that he's going to be out of here.
Yeah. And because they want to free up spaces for more green and more in green for sure.
Yeah.
And then you figure maybe Landon Slaggert, Samuel Savoie, like a bunch of guys from Rockford could be filling in those roles.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So I'm not going to lie. The original shock of this saying, oh my gosh, they got a third for Taylor Hall, but now they're paying a lot for it. The original shock of that, Lightning just won the game. Kucherov, that makes sense. So the Hawks are blowing some leads. 39 shots to 14, though.
Yeah.
But
Arvid Soderblom played a heck of a game, even though they lost 4-3.
Tough one for our buddy Jimmy at the game. At any rate, I think we didn't think they'd have to pay this much of a price for Taylor Hall as a third-round pick.
Well, and they might not. So it might actually not be. It might only be like on paper a lot of money. I'm looking up right now.
That's the thing. It's at the end of the day, it's nobody's money. But the Blackhawks, I mean, they're paying money to do this. It's not going to affect their cap moving forward.
Correct.
Period.
They're buying a better draft pick. That's what they were doing.
They're buying a better position come June.
Right. And
right.
So they're actually, he was due $6 million in cash for his contract. His cap rate was 9.25. So he's actually only probably getting the prorate version of $3 million from the Hawks, which if I'm sure there's some formula out there that some draft expert who I'll have to look into would tell you what the value of a third round pick, and it's probably about that amount of money.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say good trade because it doesn't feel terrific, but doing the best you can within the constraints of the market and what's going on, sure.
Yeah.
Hall's gone. You got a third round pick from him. If Davidson felt at this moment right now, he's like, this is probably the best we're going to get for Taylor Hall, then you got to just do it.
Yep.
And get it out there. I do have fears, though, that now that we know that Taylor Hall is only worth a third round pick to a contender, what that might mean for Ryan Donato.
And other
Smith, players, if
Pat
they do.
Maroon.
Right. I mean, this might be a pretty grim trade deadline as far as return on investment.
Yeah, but
no. I mean, originally Taylor Hall. Let's backtrack to when they acquired Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall was acquired with Nick Foligno for a cap dump for the Boston Bruins for Alec Regula and Ian Mitchell. Two guys that won't sniff the NHL anytime soon. And it was totally a Boston cap dump. Foligno's been fine. He's been great as a captain. He hasn't really had a great year. He's been a good captain. No one saw Taylor Hall blowing his knee out and having his season end.
No.
32-year-old last year. I mean, everyone was excited. He was coming off of that Boston Bruins team that won the President's Trophy, that had a 7-game first-round exit to the Florida Panthers, who went on to be in the Stanley Cup Finals in 2023. So you really couldn't foreshadow Taylor Hall's tenure in Chicago, which, now that the book is closed on that, is not the best one we've ever seen.
No.
But at the same time, a great guy, and good luck to him. We're rooting for Carolina's going to play with a lot of pace. They're going to be awesome to watch.
Yeah,
they got a real shot at this thing.
Credit to Eric Tulsky making that move. This is, I think, like his first major move as general manager of the Carolina Hurricanes, and the Hawks did interview him.
Right.
So Davidson has had some relationship with him. At least the organization has.
They just made 2 huge ads.
Yeah.
And Nekis is gone, but he's off to Colorado. But the dominoes, the first domino is rolled in the NHL here, and the Blackhawks have already been a part of it.
And Carolina still has $3 million, 3.186378 in cap space left for this deadline.
Wow.
So they could still theoretically get creative and go get another player. I mean, they could. I don't know.
No,
I don't know. I think the Hawks are flipping only short-term assets because the roster is going to be, I think, filled with kids and hopefully a big free agent signing or two, whether it's Mitch Marner or Mikko Rantanen, somebody of that nature to kind of give the team a jump in the standings, and maybe James Higgins or somebody on that caliber in the top 3 picks. So a lot of exciting stuff to happen. I think Taylor Hall is just like the first domino in the NHL trade deadline, and Carolina struck before the market even heated up.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see what Donato fetches. Now the Hawks, though, they can't retain any other contracts. That's the thing. So if they have
one more they can retain?
No, because they're still retaining some of Jake McCabe's deal.
Got it. And when does that expire?
So at the end of this season.
At the end of this season. So then at the end of the season, should they want to move Seth Jones and
they can retain,
retain his salary. Okay.
Yeah, for the 25-26 season, they have nothing retained. So Rantanen and McCabe falls off, as well as the buyout for Josh Bailey, who never
one more. Yeah, Rick's right. I got one more. Yep. 100%, Rick. Thanks for listening to us so quickly, Rick. Awesome. So one more. They can retain one more contract. All right.
Okay.
Well, it started. We knew it was going to start. We told everyone last night, be ready. It started. And folks, don't be disappointed about this. Don't be.
No.
The Blackhawks just reacquired. And here's the other thing. And Sean, you mentioned this in our DM. The pick that they just traded for, the 3rd round pick, was their original pick that they swapped with Carolina last year.
Yeah.
They swapped a 2024 and 2025 3rd round pick so they could draft Jack Pridham. So with that in mind, folks, keep in mind, this is the Blackhawks' original pick. Therefore, it will fall in the draft order where the Blackhawks land. So it'll be a very high 3rd round pick.
Right. Exactly.
So now you got a lottery pick, a top 20 to 25, 20 to 25 with the Tampa pick, 1st round pick, 2 2nd round picks, and then a really high 3rd round pick. And then 2 4ths. I mean, it's getting So they're now. Are they going to make all these picks? I agree with you, Rick. Totally fine.
Yep.
Really, real early 3rd is good news in this whole situation.
Yeah.
Will the Blackhawks utilize all these picks? I hope not.
I don't think so.
I don't think they will, and I think they're getting ammunition for bigger deals come the trade deadline. I think this is getting to be really exciting. What's been transpiring the last few weeks for the Blackhawks when you have Colton Dach coming in playing well, Nazar coming in playing well, EDM with his first game tonight. I thought he looked great. Connor
Bedard has been playing well since the switch to Sorensen's system. So Sorensen's system has given the Blackhawks life. Like, yes, they lost 4-3 tonight, but how many times did they even score 3 goals with Luke Richardson's system? Not often.
Look at what Sorensen's done to Tyler Bertuzzi. He's been lights out.
Yeah, he's been a monster since.
Yeah, so it's starting to take shape, folks. This is getting exciting. Yep, they're losing hockey games, and tonight stung, but keep an eye on these guys and keep an eye on Kyle Davidson. This is I was originally a little perturbed and going, what? Why are they taking Rantanen's salary? But then when you break it down and you think about it, all they did was spend an extra couple $1 million, essentially, because they would have had to eat some of Hall's salary with the trade just to ensure that they got a good draft position for Taylor Hall. So
I'll take it.
Not bad. Yeah, take it.
Take it.
Now, what are we expecting after this? I don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. And I think so. This is exciting. The draft is going to be even more exciting, I think, with all the picks they have, because now he's got the ammunition. Like last year, Kyle Davidson tried to get Ivan Demidov after he'd already taken Artem Leshinov. So I think because the closeness of the top 5 picks, if he feels like he has enough ammo, because don't forget, he's got a 1st rounder next year and then 3 2nd rounders next year and 2 in 2027. If he feels he can package a bunch of those picks and move up and get another top 5, top 10 talent, he's got the picks to do it.
Yeah, he's got a lot of options in that salad bar. I mean, there's a lot going on there. I think you're right. This could be for a very exciting pre-draft session, I guess, if you will, for Kyle Davidson and the Blackhawks. Well,
yeah. So don't fret, Blackhawks fans. It wasn't a terrible. I'm sure there'll be outrage because there's always outrage. But
yeah, I mean, there will be people saying what just happened and why on earth would we take on that salary? But that's what we're here to do, to break it down a little bit for you.
Yep.
And
as Rick pointed out, we still have one more buyout left, so they still could launder a contract through Chicago, and then if it's only a 1 year requirement, all those are gone next year.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing, is that if you're eating salary right now, it has no effect on the current team, and the book's clear.
Right.
It's all cleared in June. So they're basically, two teams called Kyle Davidson and said, "Hey, we need your help with eating a little salary. Are you up for this? And what's in it for you is a 3rd-round pick, and you can get rid of Taylor Hall with that immediately." The key figure in this whole deal was Rantanen.
Yes.
Rantanen and Nakis were the two Nakis were the two key figures in this. The whole point of this was Rantanen, and Carolina said, "And we'll take Hall from you if you eat half of Rantanen's salary for the rest of the year, just so we could keep moving, and you can have your 3rd-round pick back from last year that you gave us." What do you say?
And the Hawks currently have 1.5 and some change left of deadline cap space, and that's before they move Ryan Donato off the books. Right. So they could still move Ryan Donato, have more cap space, and then take a contract for a better draft pick.
Yeah, I mean,
do it again.
Yeah, there probably won't be an NHL player coming back to the Blackhawks this March, unless they get really creative. But this is the time to sample the kids. Yes. I mean, this is the time to throw them out there and be like, "All right, what do you got, kid?" So
especially with Sorensen, who coached most of them in Rockford, clearly works well with younger players. We've seen more out of Connor Bedard since he's been the coach.
Yeah,
we've seen Colton Dock and Frank Nazar. So
and the Blackhawks will probably have to spend a little bit more money to get better. And I don't mean that in a salary cap sense, but I mean TJ Brody. It was suggested by Ben Pope this morning that TJ
buy him out.
Yeah, that he's probably going to be bought out. But again, that's not our money. So if they can do it. They do have the buyout option. At any rate, yeah. But folks, good stuff tonight. Good stuff. It's good. We're not just kicking. Kyle Davidson is not kicking the can down the road here. I mean, there are things happening here, and he's building up ammunition to make bigger moves, and he did so today. A little alarming, I'm repeating myself, but eating that Rantanen salary is like, what did we just do? But when you put the right framework around it, it makes total sense.
Yeah. So, it's every move you have to look at it through a context lens of the general manager and what he's planning. Yep. And the return on paper doesn't look good until you look at it in the context that we're looking at it in.
Right. Absolutely. All right, folks, thank you for those of you who are able to jump on with us real quick for the last 25 minutes or so. Thank you for listening. Shawnee and I were texting back and forth saying, "Hey, let's jump on tonight on a Friday night." We don't have anything going on. That's us. We love our Hawks so much, and we're here for you. So, we just wanted to say, hey, Taylor Hall traded to the Carolina Hurricanes for a 3rd-round pick and salary retention. Colorado involved. They retained some of Mikko Rantanen's salary. So be it, folks. That's the first domino to fall.
There will be more to come.
There will be more to come. That's right. And have a great weekend. Tough news about the loss tonight. Ethan Del Mastro played great. And go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.